Hadid, the iron. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful. Whatever is in the heavens and the earth declares the glory of Allah, and He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. The kingdom of the heavens and the earth belongs to Him. He gives life and causes death, and He is the possessor of power to do all that He will. He is from the very first, there was nothing before Him, and He will exist to the last, there will be nothing after Him. And when nothing remains, He will remain, He being an eternal being. He is the supreme being, subordinate to no one, and whereas He comprehends everything, He is incomprehensible. He has full knowledge of everything. It is He who created the heavens and the earth in 6 aeons, and He is established on the throne of power. He knows what goes down into the earth, and what comes out of it, and what descends from above, and what ascends to it. He is with you wherever you may be. Allah is watchful of all that you do. The kingdom of the heavens and the earth belongs to Him. All matters are referred to Allah for His judgment. He causes the night to gain on the day in one season, and He causes the day to gain on the night in the other season. He has full knowledge of the inmost secrets of hearts. O people, believe in Allah and His Messenger, and spend in the cause of Allah out of the possessions He has entrusted you with as His vicegerent. Indeed, there awaits a great reward for such of you as believe and spend in His cause. What is wrong with you that you do not believe in Allah, though the Messenger invites you to believe in your Lord, and though He has already bound you to a covenant? Now is the time if you care to believe. It is He who sends down clear signs to His servant that He may lead you from all kinds of darkness into the light of faith. And behold, Allah is compassionate and ever merciful to you. What is wrong with you that you do not spend in the way of Allah? For all that the heavens and the earth contain shall finally revert to Allah. Those of you who spent and fought in the cause of Allah before the victory of Hudaybiyah cannot be equal to those who joined the ranks later. They are higher in rank than those who spent and fought afterwards, after the truth had gained ground. Yet Allah has promised a good reward to them all. Allah is well aware of what you do. Who is he that will separate a handsome portion of his possessions to give in the cause of Allah? Let him remember, He will increase it manifold, to repay it to him many times over. Indeed, there awaits such a one a generous and honorable reward. Think of the day when you will see the believing men and the believing women, that their faith having become a torch of light, is advancing rapidly in front of them and on their right sides. It will be said to them, "Glad tidings to you this day. There await you gardens of paradise, served with running streams. The recipients of glad tidings will abide therein forever. This indeed is a mighty achievement." That day, the hypocritical men and hypocritical women will say to those who believe, "Wait for us so that we might obtain some illumination from your light." It will be said to them, "Go back if you can and seek for light." Then a wall with a gateway will be set up, separating them and the believers. The inside of it will be all mercy, where the righteous have to go, and the outside of it shall be facing torment, where the hypocrites have to stay. These hypocrites will call out to those believers, "Were we not with you in the worldly life?" They will reply, "Yes, but you let yourselves fall into temptations, and you waited uselessly for our destruction, and you doubted about the truth. In fact, your vain desires deceived you, till the decree of Allah about your punishment came to be implemented, and the arch deceiver deceived you in respect of Allah. So this day no ransom shall be accepted from you, nor from those who disbelieved. Hellfire is the final abode of you all. That is your friendly protector, and very evil is that resort. Is it not yet time for those who believe that their hearts should feel humbled at the mention of the name of Allah and at the truth that has been revealed to them in the form of the Quran, and that they do not become like those who were given the scripture before them, but their hearts hardened because a long period of time passed over them, enjoying the favors of Allah. As for their present state, they are mostly transgressors. Know that Allah brings the inhabitants of the earth to life after their death. We have indeed explained our messages to you, that you may abstain from evil deeds. Verily, as to the men who give alms, and the women who give alms, and those who perform excellent deeds for the sake of Allah, their recompense shall be increased manifold for them, and there awaits them a generous and honorable reward. And for those who believe in Allah and His messengers, they alone are the truthful people and faithful witnesses in the sight of their Lord. They will have their full reward and their light. But those who disbelieve and cry lies to our commandments are the very inmates of hell. Know that the life of this world is but a sport, wanton, an empty show, a source of boasting among yourselves, and an emulous quest for more riches and children. It is like the rain, the vegetation produced whereby pleases the cultivators. Then the vegetation, blooms and flourishes, so that you can see it turn yellow on ripening. Then there comes a time when it becomes worthless chaff. But the hereafter promises both a severe punishment for the wicked, and for the righteous there is protection from Allah and His pleasure. The life of this world is nothing but a temporary enjoyment of delusive things. O people, advance quickly, outstripping one another towards the protection from your Lord, and towards a garden, the extensiveness of which is beyond measure, as the extensiveness of the heaven and the earth. It has been prepared for those who believe in Allah and His messengers. That protection is Allah's grace and bounty. He grants it to such of those who wish to attain it and strive for it. Allah is the Lord of immense grace and bounty. No disaster befalls either on the earth or in your own selves, but it forms part of the divine law before we bring it into being. Indeed, it is easy for Allah to make such a law. Allah has apprised you of this, that you may neither grieve over that good which is lost to you, nor exult because of that which He has granted you. Allah has no love for those who are haughty and boastful. Neither has He love for those who practice niggardliness themselves, and also enjoin others to be niggardly. He who turns his back upon His commandment should be aware, verily Allah is self-sufficient, free from all needs, and worthy of all praise in His own right. Certainly we sent our messengers with clear proofs, and we also sent down with them the code of Shariat, law and justice, and the balance, the practice of the Prophet and right use of the Book of God, so that people might conduct themselves with equity and justice. And we have given to them iron, which has great strength, and wherein is material for violent warfare, and for many other uses for people. All this has been done that Allah may distinguish those who help Him and His messengers without having seen Him. Indeed, Allah is all-powerful, almighty. Indeed, we sent Noah and Abraham, and we set up among their children a system of prophethood and the book. So some of them followed true guidance, but many of them became transgressors. Then we caused a series of our messengers, one after the other, to follow them closely in their footsteps. And we caused Jesus, son of Mary, to follow them. And we gave him, Jesus, the evangel. And we placed compassion and mercy in the hearts of those who followed him. But as for monasticism, they invented it themselves. We did not enjoin it upon them. They started monastic life to seek Allah's pleasure, but they did not observe it as faithfully as it should have been observed. Yet we duly rewarded such of them as truly believed, but many of them were transgressors. O you who believe, take Allah as a shield and believe in his messenger. If you do so, Allah will grant you double the share of his mercy in this world and the hereafter, and will provide for you a light with the help of which you will advance forward, and will grant you protection against pitfalls. And Allah is great protector, ever merciful. You will be so treated lest the people of the scriptures should think that they, the Muslims, have no control over the attainment of the grace and bounty of Allah, and so that they should know that grace and bounty is entirely in the hands of Allah. He bestows it upon such as wishes to be granted and strives for it. And Allah is the Lord of immense grace and bounty.